Today is Wednesday in our Holy Week devotional series, and Wednesday, or Holy Wednesday, has historically commemorated Judas's betrayal of Jesus. Follow along as I read a passage from Matthew chapter 26, verses 47 through 50. While he was still speaking, Judas came, one of the 12, and with him a great crowd with swords and clubs, from the chief priests and the elders of the people. Now, the betrayer had given them a sign, saying, "The one I will kiss is the man. Seize him." And he came up to Jesus at once and said, "Greetings, Rabbi." And he kissed him. Jesus said to him, "Friend, do what you came to do." Then they came up and laid hands on Jesus and seized him. What really sticks out to me over and over again in Jesus' interactions with Judas and the rest of his disciples is his kindness towards them, even in their failures. For instance, when Judas betrayed Jesus, Jesus calls him friend. When Peter denies Jesus, Jesus restores him in love. And even when the rest of the disciples abandon Jesus, he does not hold a grudge against them. What we see here is that in spite of all of the failures of his disciples, Jesus still chooses to love them. Here we see two similar responses from Jesus, both entirely loving, and yet there are two totally different responses between Judas and the other disciples. For Peter and the disciples, they were restored. For Judas, he ended his own life. Why? The difference between Judas and the rest of the disciples was this. While in Matthew 26, Judas called him Rabbi, Peter in Matthew 16 calls him Christ, the Son of God. While Peter's hope was in Jesus, Judas's hope was in other things. For Peter, his hope led him to restoration. For Judas, his hope led him to death. Peter was able to own his failure because his hope was in the right place. Judas was not able to own his failure because his hope was in the wrong place. And I have two reflections for us. One, what is your hope in? Is it in Jesus or is it in other things? And two, oftentimes when we fail or when we sin, we can get so caught up in the lies of the enemy, such as, Jesus is sick of me. Jesus is disgusted with me. Jesus won't love me anymore. But Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16 says, "Let us then with confidence draw near to the throne of grace, that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in time of need." My encouragement to you is to not allow yourself to be consumed with guilt over your failures, your sins, or your mistakes, but to own it and take it to Jesus and let him restore you.